My beloved, I saw the tears you wiped away after everyone went to sleep. I saw the room once the noise was gone. I saw the door close. I saw the face you wear for the world begin to fall from you in the dark. When the house grew still and no one was asking anything from you anymore, that was when the ache inside you finally had permission to speak. Not loudly, not all at once, but enough for the night to hear it. And I heard it too. I did not only see you cry, dear soul. I saw why you waited until the late hours to do it. I saw how you held yourself together all day with trembling hands no one noticed. I saw how you swallowed words you could not trust anyone to carry gently. I saw how you kept moving, kept answering, kept showing up, while something deep within you was asking how much longer you could go on like this. You thought those tears were only about today, about that one disappointment, that one silence, that one wound that reopened when no one was looking. But I tell you now, weary heart, the sorrow that finds you at night did not begin tonight. It has older roots. It has been gathering beneath the surface for longer than you have admitted, even to yourself. By day, you straighten the room, you steady your voice, you make yourself presentable to a world that has grown used to seeing your strength and overlooking your sorrow. But when midnight comes, the hidden door inside you opens. The heart you keep locked and orderly in the daylight becomes like a room filling with water in the dark. And there you are, standing in it alone, trying to understand why something so small can make you break so deeply. But it is not small. That is what I need you to know. The tears are not proof that you are weak. They are proof that you have been carrying too much for too long without the comfort, tenderness, and covering you truly needed. You have called yourself fragile, but that is not what I call you. I call you tired. I call you burdened. I call you the one who kept surviving in silence long after others would have fallen apart in plain sight. Even your pillow knows secrets that the people around you do not. It has held the sobs you muted. It has caught the prayers you could not finish. It has listened to the questions you were too afraid to say out loud. But I know them fully. I know the thoughts that come when the lights are off. I know the memories that return when the world stops distracting you. I know why the darkness feels less frightening than being misunderstood. Listen to me closely now. The night is not only the place where you collapse. It is the place where what has been hidden begins to tell the truth. And because I have seen what happens when the world goes quiet, I will now tell you what no one else has noticed about the life you have been trying to hold together. I see the way your mornings begin before your feet ever touch the floor. I see the weight that reaches you before the sunlight does. Before the room is fully awake, before the day has asked anything of you, something inside your chest is already tight. You lie there for a moment, not resting, not preparing, just gathering yourself for another day you already feel late to emotionally survive. You do not always have words for it. It is not one clear thought. It is a heaviness, a pressure, a storm forming behind your ribs before anyone else has even spoken your name. Then you rise. You wash your face. You move through the routine. You answer messages. You take care of what must be taken care of. You do what you have always done. You keep going while carrying something no one can see. And because you have done this for so long, many have mistaken your endurance for peace. But I know better. I know that strength and sorrow have been living in the same house inside you for a very long time. I see the moments when someone looks at you casually and asks, "Are you okay?" And your answer comes too quickly. "I'm fine." You say it with practiced ease, sometimes with a small smile, sometimes with a steady voice that surprises even you. But inside, something flinches, because the truth is too tangled to explain in a hallway, too tender to place into careless hands, too deep to be reduced to one easy sentence. So you give people the version of you that asks for nothing, the version that keeps the room comfortable, the version that has learned how to ache quietly. I know the exhaustion you carry is not only physical, it is the weariness of holding your face together. It is the fatigue of measuring your tone, swallowing your reaction, editing your honesty, and staying composed so others will not feel uncomfortable around your pain. Dear soul, there are days when what drains you most is not the work before you, but the effort it takes to appear untouched by what has already happened to you. I have been with you in the small private moments too. In the bathroom, when you closed the door and finally let your shoulders drop. At the edge of the bed, when you sat in silence, staring at nothing, because even your thoughts felt too tired to arrange themselves. Under the blanket, when you held it close, not because you were cold, but because you needed something to hold you back. Looking up at the ceiling, turning to one side, turning back again, trying not to cry, then crying anyway. I saw you when you stayed quiet. I saw you when you smiled anyway. I saw you when you broke in secret. I saw you when even you could not explain your own tears. Weary heart, I know there have been nights when you were not asking for answers anymore. You only wanted relief, just a small loosening in your chest, just one moment where your mind would stop circling the same ache, just one place where you would not have to pretend that the loss, the disappointment, the loneliness, the pressure, the memory, the silence, did not follow you from room to room like a shadow at dusk. And there is something even deeper I see in you, something you have hardly said aloud because it hurts too much to name. It is not only that you are sad, it is not only that you are tired, it is that part of you has begun to wonder whether you are becoming invisible, whether your pain has become too familiar to others to be noticed, whether the tenderness you needed somehow kept passing you by, whether anyone truly understands what certain words, certain absences, certain betrayals, certain disappointments have done to the inside of your heart. This is the second wound. Not only what happened to you, but what happened inside you because no one really saw what it cost. Not only the tear itself, but the loneliness wrapped around it. Not only the breaking, but the silence that followed. You have suffered the pain, and then you have suffered the hiddenness of that pain. That is why some moments hit you harder than they seem they should. That is why one quiet comment, one empty room, one ordinary evening can suddenly feel like a door opening into deep water. I know the fears you do not say out loud. The fear that you are too much when you finally tell the truth. The fear that you are not enough when you stay silent. The fear that if people saw how deeply things affected you, they would step back instead of drawing near. The fear that you have learned how to survive, but not how to be held. I see all of it, not from a distance, not in passing. I have been with you in every unseen hour, every swallowed cry, every moment when your heart felt like a path disappearing into fog. I have never once mistaken your silence for emptiness. I have never once confused your composure with the absence of pain. I know what has been happening beneath the surface of your life, where the roots keep growing in the dark. But the deepest wound was not only the pain itself, it was the false story that pain kept whispering to you in the dark. My beloved, I know the voice that has been speaking to you in those late hours. I know how it comes quietly, almost sounding like your own thoughts, almost sounding reasonable because it has repeated itself so many times. It tells you that you are too much, that you are hard to love, that you were forgotten, that no one would understand anyway, so there is no use trying to explain what lives inside you. And because these whispers have visited you in moments when you were already tired, already raw, already alone, they did not arrive like strangers. They arrived like familiar shadows. This is what pain does when it sits with a person too long in silence. It begins to interpret everything for them. It takes one unanswered moment and turns it into a verdict. It takes one season of loneliness and turns it into an identity. It takes the silence of others and presses it against your heart until you begin to wonder if it is saying something final about your worth. But it is not. You are right that something in you is tired, but you are wrong to call yourself broken beyond repair. You are right that people failed you, but you are wrong to believe I abandoned you. You are right that the nights have been long, but you are wrong to believe they are telling you the whole truth about your life. Dear soul, when someone cries alone for too long, they often begin to confuse neglect with truth. They start to believe that being unseen means being unworthy. They start to believe that being misunderstood means being unlovable. They start to believe that because comfort did not come when they needed it, love must not have been real at all. This is how sorrow reshapes the inner voice, not all at once, slowly, quietly, until the lie no longer sounds cruel. It sounds accurate. But I know where that voice was formed. It was formed in disappointment left unhealed, in tenderness left unmet, in prayers spoken into rooms that seemed to give nothing back. It was formed in the long ache of carrying what others did not notice. And once that ache settles in, it becomes like dark glass placed over a window. The window is still there, the light is still outside, but everything you see through it is stained by disappointment. Morning looks dim, kindness looks temporary, waiting looks like rejection. Even love, when it comes near, looks fragile and uncertain because you are seeing it through the color of old hurt. This is why the most dangerous lie is not always the loudest one. Sometimes it is the sentence that feels almost holy in its sadness. If I were truly loved, I would not feel this alone. But that is not wisdom. That is wound speaking. That is grief, trying to define reality from inside its own narrow room. Listen carefully, weary heart. A seed buried deep in the ground can feel forgotten because it is surrounded by darkness, pressed on by earth, hidden from every eye. It does not feel sunlight yet. It does not see movement yet. It only knows the weight above it and the silence around it. If it could judge its worth by its surroundings, it would call itself abandoned. If it could judge its future by its present darkness, it would call itself lost. But the dark is not always a grave. Sometimes it is the place where roots begin. Sometimes the pressure is not punishment, but preparation. Sometimes what looks like burial is the beginning of life pushing downward before it rises up. So I tell you this with tenderness and with authority. The feeling of being forgotten is not proof that you are without value. It is proof that you have lived too long in places where your heart was not held the way it needed to be held. The absence of proper care wounded you, yes, but it did not rewrite what I declared over you. The loneliness you felt described your environment. It did not define your worth. Your nights do not reveal that you are weak, unwanted, or beyond healing. They reveal what you have been carrying. They reveal where the soul has been strained. They reveal how much has gone unspoken, how much has gone uncomforted, how much has asked to be seen. The night is not your identity. It is evidence. It is not the name of who you are. It is the record of what you have endured. So let me speak now with greater authority than your fear, your memories, and the lies that learned your voice. My beloved, hear me clearly now. Your pain is real, but it is not your name. It is real. I do not diminish it. I do not ask you to pretend it did not cut deeply. I do not call the wound small when it altered the way you learned to move through the world. But I declare this over you with full authority. What hurt you is not the truest thing about you. What broke around you is not the final word over you. It is settled. You are not hard to love. You have simply carried wounds that few people were gentle enough to recognize, and even fewer were patient enough to understand. There is a difference. Do not confuse the lack of tenderness around you with a lack of worth within you. I do not. I have decided that you will no longer measure yourself by what others failed to hold well. I declare that the cracks in you are not signs of lesser value. They are signs that you have endured more than many ever knew. What made you flinch was real. What made you guarded was real. What made you tired was real. But none of it erased what I placed inside you before sorrow ever reached your door. And hear me in this too. What wounded you was not proof that you deserved wounding. What neglected you was not proof that you were meant to go without comfort. The breaking was not your fault. The fact that you are still here, still listening, still longing for truth, instead of surrendering completely to bitterness, is already evidence of a strength deeper than you have given yourself credit for. You call yourself weak because you felt the weight. I call you resilient because you kept walking under it. Remember Hagar in the wilderness. She was pushed into loneliness, sent into a place where no human protection remained, and she believed she had been cast away. The desert did not comfort her. The future did not explain itself to her. No hand from earth came quickly to gather her, and yet I saw her there. I met her where no one else was looking. I did not lose track of her because others had. I did not become absent because people had failed her. In the place where she thought she had been abandoned, I was already present, naming her reality and proving that being left by people is not the same as being left by me. So I declare the same truth over you now. Being overlooked by others does not mean you have been overlooked by me. Being mishandled does not mean you are unwanted. Being unseen in your pain does not mean you were unseen in your becoming. I have been watching over places in you that others never noticed. I have been guarding what they did not know how to value. It is done. Your worth does not wait for human recognition to become real. You are not a useless fragment lying in the dust, dear soul. You are like a lamp covered in years of dust and ash. The light did not die, it was hidden. The flame did not abandon its purpose. It was veiled. And now, even in places where you assumed only ruins remained, I am still at work. I am still breathing on embers. I am still uncovering light. I am still drawing life out of what looked to you like aftermath and residue. What you called remnants, I call material for restoration. Let this settle into you. I am not building your future from nothing. I am revealing what pain could not destroy. Beneath the dust, there is still light. Beneath the ache, there is still identity. Beneath the silence, there is still my voice. And beneath all the places where you thought only damage remained, my hand has never stopped moving. And now that the lie has been exposed and the truth has been spoken, I will show you how healing begins, not by pretending the wound was small, but by letting me enter the place you hid. My beloved, healing is not forgetting. It is not erasing memory. It is not calling deep pain small just to make it easier to carry. Healing begins when you stop looking at your past only through rejection and begin to see it through my eyes. I do not ask you to say, "It did not hurt that much," when it changed how you trust, how you rest, how you love, and how you brace yourself for another day. Healing starts with truth, not denial. Truth. You are right that some things marked you deeply, but you are wrong to believe they must define you forever. There are rooms inside your heart, dear soul, that you learned to keep closed because entering them felt unbearable. But a room shut for years does not become livable by staying locked. It becomes livable when light enters, when air returns, when what was hidden is no longer left alone in the dark. This is what I am doing in you. I am opening inner rooms you survived by avoiding, not to shame you, to restore you. I see the pressure around your finances, the quiet calculations, the fear that follows you into the morning and waits for you at night. But I am with you there. Your worth is not measured by what is missing. You are still held. I see your physical and emotional exhaustion too, weary heart. The kind of tiredness sleep does not fully touch. The kind that comes from carrying too much for too long while still trying to look steady. I am meeting you in that weariness. I am strengthening what sorrow drained. Rest is not weakness, it is mercy. I see the tension in your family, the words that never became honest, the love tangled with hurt, silence, or control. I know how painful it is when the place that should feel safe becomes the place where you feel unseen. But I am working there too. You do not have to disappear to keep peace. You matter. I see your work, your responsibilities, and the ache beneath them. There were days you kept moving, not because you felt alive, but because stopping would have forced you to feel everything at once. I know the difference between staying busy and being whole. You were not made only to function, and I see the loneliness you cannot easily explain. Not just being alone, but feeling alone even around others, feeling hard to reach, hard to hold. I have been with you there. Being alone in a moment is not the same as being abandoned in your life. I did not leave. I know some relationships trained your heart to accept less than tenderness, less than honesty, less than peace. You gave too much. You endured too much. But healing separates your value from your usefulness. You are not precious only when you are helping, fixing, comforting, or holding everything together. You are precious because I made you. That is enough. And when your spiritual life has felt thin, when prayer felt distant, and my voice seemed quiet, I was still there. I was not offended by your weariness. I have been tending what you could not yet see, like a seed growing under winter soil. Hidden is not dead. Remember the woman bent low for many years. When I called her forward, I did not shame her. I did not ignore her. I brought hidden pain into compassionate light. This is my way. I do not heal by humiliation. I heal by calling you near. So hear me clearly. You do not need to build your identity around what neglected you, exhausted you, or left you feeling unseen. That was part of your pain. It is not your name. And because healing often feels hardest just before it becomes visible, I need you to hear me in the place where you are most tempted to give up. My beloved, there are seasons that grow heaviest just before they begin to break. Not because I have left you, but because what once ruled you is losing its power, while what I am bringing forth has not fully appeared yet. This is why the pressure feels so fierce. This is why the night can feel longer than before. You are standing in a place where the old is no longer enough to hold you, and the new is still rising beneath the surface. I know you are tired of waiting, tired of holding yourself together, tired of trying, tired of believing when so little around you seems to change. I know the weariness that makes even small things feel heavy. I know what it is to reach the edge of yourself and wonder how much longer you can keep walking like this. But hear me clearly, weary heart. The fact that you are still here is not failure. The fact that you can still weep is not weakness. The fact that you still ache to be touched by truth means your heart has not died. There is still life in you. There is still response in you. There is still holy ground beneath this pain. You have come too far to surrender to the lie now. You have cried too many nights to turn back now. You have held on through too much darkness to release the truth now. Hold on when the night feels long. Hold on when your thoughts turn against you. Hold on when silence tries to convince you nothing is changing. Dawn does not arrive with shouting. It comes quietly, a thin line of light at the edge of the world. And yet once it begins, darkness cannot stop it. This is how many of my works unfold in a soul. Slowly, gently, irreversibly. What feels hidden is not absent. What feels delayed is not denied. I am moving in ways your fear cannot measure. You do not need to see the whole road tonight. You do not need every answer before you take the next breath in peace. You only need to keep your hand on what is true. I am with you. I have not forgotten you. I am not wasting this chapter of your life. And one day, dear soul, the story that nearly broke you will become a shelter for someone else. The night you thought would crush you will become the place from which compassion flows. The ache you carried in secret will help another wounded heart believe they can survive their own. I do not only bring you through, I make your life a place of refuge. So do not let go here. Not in this place, not at this threshold. Stay with me. Keep walking, keep listening. Keep your heart turned toward my voice. Because if you are going to keep walking, you must no longer walk under the name your pain gave you. You must remember who you are to me. You are seen, not glanced at, not passed over. I see the places in you that stayed quiet because they were tired of being misunderstood. I see what others missed, and I have never once looked away. You are known. I know the thoughts you never finished out loud, the fears you tucked beneath busy days, the sorrow hidden behind steady words. Nothing in you is confusing to me. Nothing in you is too much for me to hold. You are loved, not because you performed well, not because you stayed strong, not because you made yourself useful to everyone around you. You are loved because I chose to set my love upon you, and I do not withdraw it when you are weary. You are not forgotten. The silence you endured did not erase you. The waiting did not remove you from my hand. Even when life felt like a fog-covered path and you could not tell where you were heading, I knew where you were. I know now. You are being held. Even in the nights when you felt like you were slipping through your own strength, you were not falling out of mine. I have been carrying more of you than you realized. That is why you are still here. You are mine, not in a harsh way, in a holy way. In the way a maker speaks over what he formed with care, what he knows completely, what he refuses to abandon. You do not belong to your fear. You do not belong to your shame. You do not belong to the voices that wounded you. Remember Mary in the garden, dear soul. She stood near the tomb thinking loss had written the final line. Grief had narrowed her sight. Pain had made the world feel empty. But when I called her by name, everything changed. One personal word broke through the darkness. One moment of being named restored recognition, hope, and direction. So hear me now in that same tenderness. Your identity does not come from the nights you cried, the people who hurt you, or the silence you survived. Those things affected you, but they do not define you. You are not the ashes of what was lost. You are a seed beneath dark soil, hidden for a time, pressed on from above, but still carrying life that is preparing to rise. My beloved, let your heart stand up again under this truth. Let your inner life straighten beneath my voice. I am not only comforting you, I am calling you back to your true name. So receive this now, not as a distant promise, but as a covering over your heart tonight. So receive this now, not as a distant promise, but as a covering over your heart tonight. My beloved, this is the truth I have been speaking over you from the beginning. You were never unseen, never unheard, and never alone in the night. I am still with you in the quiet room. I am still near in the hour when your strength feels thin. I am still present where the tears come, where the memories stir, where the heart feels tired and tender. The night is no longer a place where you are abandoned. It is a place where I meet you with mercy. So I bless you now with peace for your mind, peace that settles what has been racing, peace that softens what has been tight inside you for too long. I bless your memories with gentleness, so they no longer rule you with the same weight. I bless your heart with strength, not the hard strength of pretending, but the quiet strength of being held. And I give you light for the next step, not all at once, but enough for the path in front of you. You do not need to understand everything tonight to be loved by me. You do not need to have every answer to be led by me. You do not need to explain every wound for me to know exactly where it aches. I know. I see. I have been with you. And if this message has found you in a place that words rarely reach, let your heart answer. Write Amen in the comments as your quiet yes to what I have spoken over you. Share this with the one who has been crying in silence and does not know how to say it out loud. And stay near this channel so these words of healing, comfort, and truth can keep meeting you when you need them most. Rest now, dear soul. I have seen what others missed. I have held what others could not, and I will remain where I have always been close. I saw every tear, and I never left.